Right, we've got a good clean race start for the GixR Cup class. The GixR Cup, what an excellent class. Thank you for Suzuki New Zealand for having the vision into the future. And Alpine Stars Bell Helmets for providing the gear. 5995 will get you a bike, a stand, pretty well race prepared, and also get you a set of leathers worth about $1,800, a Bell helmet, and boots and gloves. So a great class, and look at how tight everyone is there. I can see Harry Parker, he's the one with the orange stripe around his wheels, and the orange belly pan all the way up here from Timaru. There's another rider out there, I think, from Greymouth. Where we got the Greymouth? Clark Fountain, and already we've got a new lap record for this class because it hasn't been really here raced before. There was a demonstration race a few weeks ago, 1:37.21, and that was Thomas Newton in third place. Looks to me like Tarbin Walker's had the intelligence to colour up his bike a little bit. He's got the red front and the fairing. He is in second place as they go into Higgins for the first time for 6 laps. Here at the Suzuki Series. He'll be playing with Blake Ross, I'm sure. Blake Ross goes up high. Remember, Tarbin Walker in the last race run right onto the grass. It was about 100 metres on the grass, and there was about a 200-metre gap at the end of the day there, but he managed to fight back there and almost a photo finish. First 2 bikes, 1 bike between them, second 2 bikes about 20 bikes behind, and a bike between them. There's a lonely line there, and look at the big gaggle of bikes coming through there, the GixR 150s. They are available as street bike Cs. You can buy them fared like this or unfared. There is a range of them there, 2,995, is it? 2,995, yep. And it's about 2,300 or 2,400 for the unfared models. You can see some of those down in the Suzuki tent down underneath the stand. Okay, a gap between 96,000 to the second. Blake Ross goes through in first place with Tarbin Walker in second, Thomas Newton. This is how they finished, I think, in the last race. Neil Ritchie.
And great to see. This is our fabulous GixR Cup, courtesy of MeadSpeedTitanium.com. Meadspeed out of the South Taranaki, and offering that little performance advantage for these bikes, just to give them something. They sound awesome, and just to give them a bit more performance. I'd like to see one of these machines on the dyno, now that they've got a good muffler system on them made for this, and the fact that out of the box they're only under 20 horsepower. Incredible when you think, of course, you're talking about super bikes at 202 horsepower, you're talking about sidecars at 195 horsepower. So to see a machine of 20 horsepower, but more importantly, it's all of the riders are on these machines. So hence the fact, growing the future champions with Team Suzuki and the GixR Cup, all of these are the same, and it's just fabulous. And the other thing that's created quite a scene with them, of course, is the fact that you can't just go and throw a ringing wet one on it. And 14, I've just been told 14 horsepower standard, 17 now. Okay, so that's what I've been told. I understood from the pamphlet I read they were at 19. So, but I think more importantly, we'll get one on the dyno and really have a good look. But certainly the future of it. With the TSS Red Baron at home with Suzuki, Wellington's premier motorcycle dealership at Cuba Street, Ellistown in Lower Hutt. So great to have their support on board as well. So the Suzuki Dealer Network, we talked about it before. It is fantastic that Suzuki have come on board with this series and really have, again, lifted the standard by creating our champions of the future. So the GixRs, here we go. Look at that, the slipstream going on there. Tarbin's a man. Yes, indeed, he has been, and he proved that before. So Tarbin Walker out there. Then we go back to Thomas Newton. Thomas got himself on the podium last time. Go to Clark Fountain, the 14-year-old from Greymouth. Then back to Blake Ross. Now, Blake, good enough to be the best qualifier. He won that previous race, and he's back there, Spider, in 4th place. Now, if you have a look at this, first of all, I asked him in the interview, what have you learnt the most? And he said slipstreaming. So if he can slipstream on 3rd place and then try and get past, who knows, is there enough time? But that gap between 2nd and 3rd is looking pretty good. But I tell you what, keep an eye on this young man, Thomas Newton, because Thomas is the guy that's made all the moves. So he's been lifting his standards more than any of those other riders. Keeps going up and up and up. So great to watch. And there's a good example of it, because he's right on the tail of Tarbin, who has proved to be the hot shot of the class now that Jesse unfortunately had his crash in his favoured F3 class and is now out of contention. So champions of the future, Spider, with these little bikes. Yeah, I called into Whanganui a few weeks ago into Suzuki New Zealand, and Sloane Frost was there along with Dan Metten building these bikes. Oh. And it was something unreal to see a box of 30 sets of clip-ons coming out there, getting opened up, and they applied the clip-ons. They put belly pans on them. They did a few other bits and pieces. I think the foot pegs are changed. Of course, the exhaust pipes there, Neil Ritchie, there's a bit of a change of position there. I don't know whether it is a change. I'm just still trying to pick it up. I think Blake's in the lighter gear from memory, so he may be still back there in 4th place, but at least he had a go. I think he probably needed to slipstream for a little bit longer, Spider. He really need to be in behind the wall and then have a dab late on, because I think he probably came out there just a fraction too early to try try and take the advantage. But here we are coming down towards the line. If that was a finish, you would say there was nothing in it. How close, Spider?
25,000 of a second. I'm going to question it. I reckon these guys possibly got their transponders in different places. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but some of them have got on the front forks on the side, some on the front forks on the front, and some up on the triple clamp. So you're looking at a distance of maybe 25 centimetres, 250 millimetres. And with a photo finish race that we're going to possibly see here, maybe it's a good idea to all put the transponders in the same place. It certainly looked tighter than 25,000, but nevertheless, running around at a 38.122, a 37.21 for the lap record last time. I guess we've got a bit more wind down that back straight. Maybe, oh no, it's a crosswind here at Manfeild. It's just the track is warming up there as we see the two lead bikes coming out of the hairpin along that centre straight. Once again, it is Tarbin Walker doing the slipstream in behind Thomas Newton. Thomas Newton set a lap record. It's going to be a breaking duel to the Higgins corner here at Manfeild for race 4 of 6 races for the Suzuki Series. There is a GixR Cup available for the championship, and I think it's oh, look at that, off the track there. That's not Tarbin Walker, that is Thomas Newton there, off the track there, and rejoins in 5th place. There's a GixR Cup there, and I think something like $5,000 prize money. Now, that's for the combined points of the 3 Suzuki Series races and the 4 New Zealand Superbike Championships.
Right.
Because some of the riders are not eligible due to age to go to Wanganui, they are allowed to drop a round, so that's going to tighten it up as well. So it's going to be a 6-round series, 7-round series, but drop a round, so that's going to be more interesting as well coming up there. So a healthy lead now for Thomas Newton. He won't know that Tarbin Walker, he won't know that Thomas Newton has slipped back into 5th place. Watch Thomas come through there, set a lap record on the last race, and fastest man despite having 3rd place on the podium. So here we go into Toyota here for lap 4 of 6 laps. Can he come back? Can he come back there? Thomas Newton, can he come back up there and challenge for the lead?
Well, it's the Blake Ross show we're looking to, because that's what Blake had talked about before. Remembering when we were last talking, a lap and a bit ago, he was in 4th place. Now he's into 2nd and he's gaining. Keep an eye on his times there, Spider. I think you'll find that Blake Ross will be the faster of the riders out there. And is there enough time in the race to close that gap down? It's that deficit first and 2nd. Now he's got no slipstream. In fact, for the deficit is behind, he's got the rough air back there. So in fact, it's even a little bit tougher. He just needs to try and get a slingshot through a corner, maybe just be able to find some late advantage or early on the gas out of the corner again to try and close that gap down. So Tarbin with the advantage, then go back to Blake Ross. He's been the hot shot improver and winner of our earlier race today. Then we're looking back here to Clark Fountain again, who's got himself back there to 3rd place at the expense of, with the help of Thomas Newton now. Thomas had dropped back, but now he's come back up again. And that man, Michael Wilson, is behind him. He's the young 17-year-old all the way from Invercargill, supported by Southern Suzuki, Wilson Concrete Pumping, Southland Motorcycle Club and John Crawford Racing. And there's a special shout out to the Southern Suzuki team for bringing Michael on board. They're a great crew all the way from the capital of the South, Invercargill, the world's most dominant southern racing circuit and the home of the Burt Munro Challenger course. And Michael's father, Reese, has been a legend of that event now for over 11 years, and Michael's got it in his blood. So look out for this young man, number 16 in Michael Wilson. He's got a little bit of pink hanging on the back of his bike just to be that little bit different for us. And I'll tell you what, it's a dream as far as updating his race performance to see him out there as well. But Spider, has Blake got a chance to close it down, because we're on our last lap?
0.8 of a second there. I don't know. He's under threat now from Clark Fountain and Thomas Newton. So a lead by 0.848 seconds across the start-finish line. That's about 20 bike lengths, possibly, even these small bikes. We go back 3 to 4 bike lengths to Clark Fountain. And then in behind him is Thomas Newton. So the battle's all on for the minor money of the podium. I think that Tarbin Walker's going to have this one sorted. He had 2 crashes at big incidents at Taupo. Went off at turn 1. Got back on his bike and rode through the kitty litter back onto the grass and fell over again. And then he had a huge slide coming out of turn 14 and hit the airbag, and had a bit of a struggle down the front straight trying to find his foot peg that had folded up. Didn't have a footbed spring in there. But certainly on fire today is Tarbin Walker. We go into Higgins for the final lap there.
How does he stay on there, Terry? Terry's on my shoulder. He's our official media man for cemeterycircuit.co.nz, and he's having a snigger as well. The puff of dust, you missed it on the corner here, Spider, back over on the hairpin. I think it might have been Michael Wilson out there, and that wasn't just a little bit of dust, that was a lot of dust, and he stayed on the bike as we look for the run for the home. Yes, indeed, Tarbin Walker should be the man to hold it, but I tell you what, that next race is anybody's. Those 3 of them are just fantastic. So Tarbin Walker looking out out there. Is there two? Is there three? You
There's
look across, you see two bikes, but there is three of them, and I think whoever was in second place has just gone back to fourth. That could be a dramatic change. Can't confirm. We'll get an idea of it. Tarbin should be coming down here to the checkered flag. He's going to do it. Look at that side by side. Yes. And I'll tell you what, he's delighted. Oh, Blake Ross from Clark Fountain. There was nothing on that. In fact, it was Clark that had that, and Blake just fought back and got it. Spider, how close?
0.1 of a second. 0.1 of a second, which is about a wheel and a half length. So done and dusted. Tarbin Walker, what have we got in terms of lap times? A 1:37.21 was the lap record last time. No, oh, actually 1:30.